It's time to look at the headlines across Nigerian newspapers, and I have with me to make sense of all of this, Dari Odufowokan is here. Dari, good morning. Good to see you.
Mike.
Great. You're welcome. All right. Ify Onyegbule will be joining us on... Honorable Ify Onyegbule, thank you very much for joining us on Zoom. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
All right. I see you're very busy. You're really busy from across the country, from one seminar, one conference, one workshop, and all of that. Really interesting.
We have to do what we have to do. We're
Great.
journalists.
Great.
When the time comes for work, you've got to move.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Thanks for joining us anyway. Now let's move. Let's start with the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune says federal government to enforce compulsory vaccination of workers December 1, to issue revised protocol within 24 hours and take South Africa, Turkey, Brazil off restriction list. Okay, that's the Nigerian Tribune. The Punch newspaper is on the other hand saying that the NMA health workers differ as federal government plans ban on unvaccinated workers. Workers must be vaccinated or present negative tests as from December 1, as federal government is saying this. And available vaccine doses not sufficient, barring workers insensitive, says Johesu. All right, we'll be talking about this certainly. Leadership newspaper. Leadership says 1 year after, hashtag EndSARS protests, police foot drag on reforms. 1 year after, EndSARS protests, police foot drag on reforms, and the police brutality continues amid attacks on stations and facilities. Over 20 police stations attacked, 47 officers killed in 12 months. All of these on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. Certainly we'll talk about this as well when the discussion opens. The Guardian newspaper is next, and it says APC PDP in flurry of activities to decide critical congresses. That's on the political side now. Good. From there to the Nation newspaper, PDP chairman notes party leaders' consensus plan shaky. 3 geopolitical zones pick different candidates. Mark, Ghana, Idris withdrawal. Okay. All right. That's on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Right. From there, let's go to First News. Ahead Guba polls, Anambra Deputy Governor dumps ABGA for APC. Ahead of Guba polls, Anambra Deputy Governor dumps ABGA for APC. That's the First News. Daily Independent is next, and he's talking about the 2022 appropriation bill. Reps urge... Daily Independent is next. Daily Independent. And is focusing on 2022 appropriation bill. Reps urge cutting. Reps urge cut in 6.45 trillion naira new borrowing. All right, reps urge cut in 6.45 trillion naira new borrowing. Okay, that's from there. Let's go to Blueprint. It's also focusing on the Senate on 2022 budget. MDA sabotaging Buhari's infrastructure loan requests. MDA's sabotaging Buhari's infrastructure loan requests. That's Blueprint newspaper. From there, let's go to This Nigeria. This Nigeria. Dwindling revenue. This Nigeria is focusing on dwindling revenue. It says federal government tackles inept MDAs, raises target to 754.31 billion naira, and queries unremitted 1.2 trillion naira in 2021. Daily Times is next, and it says some MDAs sabotaging Buhari's efforts to provide infrastructure. Lawan is saying this. That's the Senate President. That's at Daily Times. News Direct says $12 billion loan projects. Health Ministry, 6 others sabotaging Buhari. Senate President is saying this. That's from the News Direct. Let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says 2022 budget in focus here, 3.9 trillion naira for debt servicing worrisome. That's the House of Reps saying this. say total public debt may rise to 5 trillion naira in 2022. A worry over deficit, borrowings, all riders, so many riders there on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. From there, let's go to Daily Trust. Federal government, private sector to bridge 350 trillion naira infrastructure gap. Amount equals Nigeria's 18 years budget. Okay, that's Daily Trust there. New Telegraph says intrigues, power play may truncate project. That's talking about the national carrier. Nuat's allegations spurious, and this minister is saying this. Arik in 300 billion naira debt, assets worth only 150 billion naira. The AOC's denial to Carriel shut out 20,000 jobs. All right, all that on the front page of the New Telegraph. From there, let's go to national economy. Inflows from private sector hold ace for Nigeria's 5-year, 350 trillion naira development plan. And then Business Day is the last one now, and he says, IHS planned New York listing a win for Nigeria's 5G ambition. Okay, that's Business Day, and that's the last one. Let's get into the discussion now. Dari is here, and Ify Onyegbule is also with us via Zoom. The Punch newspaper says NMA health workers differ as federal government plans ban on unvaccinated workers. This is generating controversy now. The plan is that from the 1st of December, which is this year, the federal government will carry out a new rule to say all workers, civil servants must either be vaccinated or present a certificate saying that you are COVID-19 negative before you can access the offices. Barry, I wonder what you make of this now.
Well, if it is the desire of the federal government to have Nigerians vaccinated as a preventive measure against the rampaging COVID-19, it's a good idea. But the question I want to ask is it established that there are a lot of people unwilling to be vaccinated? That is one. The second one is, those willing to be vaccinated, have they all been vaccinated? Are the vaccines available? I can tell you for free that I know people who have been visiting vaccination centers without luck. I know people who have been logging online for months. And those people who got confirmation that, oh, you've been slated for so, and they never get called to go and get the vaccine. So we still have issues about the adequacy of the vaccines. It is when we have resolved all that, when we have taken care of people who are willing, who want to present themselves willingly to be vaccinated, that is when we can begin to bring the stick. Now, let's apply the carrots for those who are willing and unable to get vaccinated. I think we still have quite a number of those. And it is when we have taken care of those that we can now say, because the result here, by the time you apply this rule, there will be a rush. Either willing or non-willing, everybody will be out there. They want to get vaccinated. And then usual criminalities will set in. Some Nigerians want to make bricks money, and then the whole
by selling vaccines in the black market.
Through the black, then some people want to get it through the back door. But I want to believe that if we have the vaccines, we still have a lot of people who are ready and willing, who are yet to get vaccinated. Let's take care of them, and then we can move on from there.
All right. Now, Ify, let me come to you now on this. The point is, it is always said, often said, that the people, an individual has the right to take the vaccine or not to take the vaccine. In this case, where the federal government is saying that they're going to make it compulsory for every civil servant to take the vaccine compulsorily, I wonder where the rights of the people are in that window.
If we look at that, talking about people's rights, well, I think the government is trampling on the rights of people, persons. People can decide whether they want to take it. They can decide whether they don't want to have the jab, just like it's done in civilized climes. But if you come here to say that you want to actually impose it on people, that might not be truly nice. The people have decided, or the person who decides to say, I don't want to take the jab, will be ready or is ready for whatever the consequences will be. It then means that you will also be ready to be shown the way out, because you cannot say you will not take the vaccine or you will not receive the jab and you want to come work with people who have gone the extra mile to protect themselves. So it's a two-way street, if you ask me. But for this, I truly want to stand on the side of government to say, look, people need to be vaccinated. It's about taking responsibility for your life and the lives of your loved ones. People have taken it. Yes, a lot of persons said to me that they had some kind of reaction. When I took it, I didn't feel anything, okay? And I'm sure it's been like that with so many other persons. What will it cost you to just take it? And just believe that you are taking it and you're free. Now, for people who are even going to apply to go abroad, I hear there are other very rigorous things that you need to go through, even just for saying that you're coming from Nigeria. So why don't you just take this? You don't have to wait for the government to wield a big stick for you to go get the vaccine. It is for your own good. People truly don't really believe that there is COVID-19 there. Some people still carry this virus. They are asymptomatic. You can't even know that they have it or that they're carrying it. And they move about. You see what's going on. We just suddenly let our guards down. And when you think about it, we're not going to be the better for it as a country if we don't do something about it. Maybe the government just needs to find another way, relax a bit, don't be draconian about it, saying that you're going to lock up and say if you don't show your certificate, you wouldn't get it. As Dare said, too many things will be going on through their minds now. Now, when they show you that certificate, remember in Nigeria, that's a place, this is a place where you have the original, you have the fake, and the fake looks more original than the main one as it is. So people will be out there now trying to do all sorts of things. Government really needs to be careful about this. They'll go underground, all sorts of crazy vaccines will now get it, whatever it is they put in those bottles will get into the market and things will begin to happen. They need to tread with caution, and I'm just hoping that every Nigerian decides to take their health seriously and do the right thing.
Okay. All right. Now, Dara, you mentioned earlier that this could, become counterproductive when you begin to see fake, vaccine or in the black market and all of that. Now, if he has mentioned fake certificates, recall that some countries had concerns with Nigerian travelers or those coming from Nigeria because of presenting fake COVID-19 certificates. Now, when there is a pressure to vaccinate compulsorily within the time frame between now and December, as the federal government is saying, how will this, from your view, because some analysts have said this could trigger the issue of fake certificates of COVID-19. Just present that certificate and then everything is okay.
Free. And then you can go about.
Exactly, you can do your thing.
While you are unvaccinated,
exactly.
In the real sense.
In the real sense of
it. We are Nigerians, and we understand how these things work. But I won't join in the stigmatization of my country. It is not only in Nigeria you find such things happening. Why we will agree that it is not good. Some countries actually, without having incidents of fake certificates coming from Nigeria, just clamped down Nigeria or labeled Nigerians. We won't accept any certificate from Nigeria. When you get here, you have to re-vaccinate. That wasn't good enough. That's stigmatization. But it boils down to what we are saying here. The government must tread cautiously. Tread with caution, because people would cut corners once they are under pressure. I think what we should do is sustain the tempo of vaccination as we have it now. make vaccines available for people who are willing. The more people who takes the jab, who take the jab and go back to tell others, nothing happens. If I think I took the second jab sometimes in August.
Okay.
Meaning that I took the first one much earlier. And
I'm here. A 3 weeks interval.
I'm here. No problem. People say if you take it 2 weeks later, you are dead. 2 weeks later, you are crippled. And 2 months later, you are this. The more people we have as living witnesses and evidences of the safety of these vaccines, the better for us. There is something the government is yet to do. Take the vaccines to the rural areas. They should take the vaccines to rural. We have living evidences of the safety of the vaccine in the urban areas already. But the rural people, the rural folks, are still looking at the vaccine as something far away, in far away land. Bring it to them. Select local leaders, chiefs, religious leaders, and in the villages, not at the local government headquarters as it's been done. Let them take it. When they take it and their people continue to live with them and nobody is running mad, nobody is crippled, nobody is dead as a result of the vaccine, more people will prepare. By the time the people are ready to take, the vaccines are not enough. People get discouraged. The vaccine is not something people want to go and queue up to take. And it is not something people should queue up to take. If you are saying you want to prevent COVID-19 and you want a line, queues of people seeking to be vaccinated, you are spreading COVID-19. So let's take care of availability. Let's take care of orientation. The orientation on the COVID-19 vaccine is not enough. That's the truth. You won't do it on social media and tell us you've spent trillions of naira, billions of naira to do orientation when the people who should hear are yet to be aware. So, while it is a good thing, I disagree with those who feel and want to insist that it is my right to decide whether I want to take it or not. Human rights are interwoven. Where your right ends, that's where my right starts. And where your right is going to infringe on my right, then we have to look at it. It's no longer your right in the real sense of it. It is your right to remain unvaccinated. But it is not your right to spread COVID-19. If every other person around you are vaccinated and you, as a matter of right, you want to remain unvaccinated, then you have to leave the vicinity. It's a Yoruba adage that says, they don't tell a young man not to yes, okay. They don't tell a young child or a young man or a young person not to contract leprosy. Insofar such a child is ready and willing to live alone in the bush. So nobody should infringe on anybody's right. But you must be willing and ready to ensure it does not infringe on other people's rights, and you live with the consequences. Okay. So if government says one of the consequences is the fact that you no longer work with us, so be it.
All right. Now, if in some states in the United States, there are so many incentives for people as a way of encouraging people to take the jab. In fact, in some states, there are money is given. In some other states, there are different packages that just take the jab, different things will be given to you as a way of encouraging people to take the jab. Although Nigeria may not have all the resources here, but languages also matter. There's the talk about the issue of the communication to people. Now, at this point, what do you make about where it is always the stick approach to issues like this by government?
It's very sad the way things happen here in Nigeria. While you were talking about things happening in some states across the US, I heard in some places people are giving $100. Some people get some other kind of packages, just to say come out. They're petting you to come out to take the vaccine, which is okay. There's nothing wrong in you petting your citizens to say come and do this, because the implication is going to bite so hard on you. But not many persons will like exactly what it is that I'm about to say. Nigeria will play politics about everything. COVID-19, the variants are changing from one to the other, mutating as it is. But what Nigerian politicians are interested, or what the federal government is interested in doing, is to continue or begin to position themselves for the next election. And you're asking yourself the question, if you have people who get killed by COVID-19, who's going to come out to vote for you? So for us, we leave what it is that we're supposed to be doing, and we're facing what we should do after doing A. It just doesn't make any sense, if you ask me, because the world is battling. People are opening up now. Countries are opening up. Even in Africa, there are countries that are beginning to open up to say, look, we have X number of citizens vaccinated. And they say to you, this is where you go to get the vaccine. Dari talked about the fact that, are these vaccines available? That's a pertinent question that we need to ask. That committee is set up, on the issue of COVID-19 and all that. You need to tell people where to go to get the vaccine. You cannot come out to say to people, you don't want to get vaccinated. Yet you find that so many of those centers where you say you're open, that people should go get the vaccine, those centers have closed down. Where are they going to get it from? Will they conjure it from the air? That's what I don't understand. So this is not a place where you say government is going to use some nice words, sweet words to say, look, let's talk to our citizens, get out there, go get vaccinated. How many times have they called religious leaders to say to them, you need to speak with your flock, you need to speak with your congregation, whether Muslim, whether Christians, call them together, because you hear also that some of these religious leaders are the ones who are saying to their people, don't go get it. You need to faith it that you will not catch the vaccine. The vaccine has no idea who you are, whether you're rich, you're poor, whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim. When it gets to you, or when you contract it, you know exactly what might happen. I've had people who are close to me who died, as a result of COVID. They probably had other complications, but they fell to COVID as it is. So it is real, it is true, but people like to see things to believe. How many, except the ones that we heard about government officials, have we seen others who came out to say, look, I contracted the virus, this was what I did, and this is how good I am now, I've taken this vaccine? It is difficult for us as Nigerians. A lot of people never believe these things because they've lost confidence in government. When you say one to them, or you tell them this thing is white, they are looking at it and saying, yeah, it looks white, but for the government that have lied to us over and over again, it might not be white, it could be cream, it could be gray, and all of that. So it is for government now to gain its credibility back with the people. You need to find a way to reach out to the people. The way you go to canvass for votes in the markets, you need to go there, meet the market leaders, the allergists, babalogists, talk to them, take the vaccines to them. Because the Nigerian who's hungry and buying gas at 8,000 naira will not want to leave his house to waste his time to go queue somewhere, just as Barry said, queue and lump themselves together because they want to get the vaccine. Government needs to find a way, do the right thing, so that tomorrow it doesn't backfire.
All right. Thank you very much, Ify. Just in one minute each, I'd like us to delve into the story on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. 1 year after NSAS protests, 1 year after NSAS protests, police foot drag on reforms. That is what the Leadership newspaper has this morning. Dari, the police at that time had promised to make reforms, lasting reforms. In fact, it led to the dismantling of the SARS that led to the protest in the first place. But there were other things they wanted to do as a way of creating that, that feeling amongst Nigerians that we're here for you and all of that. But what is your assessment now? What has really changed with the police and their approach?
Because we have little time to discuss this, I'd rather discuss another issue that has to do with this, and it's very worrisome. 1 year after NSAS, Nigeria is now more unpoliced than ever before. If we want to talk about whether they've carried out reforms or not, that's secondary. It seems the police practically withdrew from the roads, withdrew from the communities, and the only thing they do now is wear their uniform, resume in their office, and stay there. You don't find policemen anywhere again. We drive around, we move around. There are now more hot spots or black spots all over the country. In Lagos now, if you are driving from K2 here towards Ikorodu, you could be robbed anywhere on that stretch of the road, even in my 12, as populated as it is, I've been attacked right in the traffic while driving. I've seen people being attacked, windscreens being broken, doors being forced open, people dragging with motorists, collecting their valuables, people being stabbed in traffic. And you look around, and a police station is just a stone throw away. And then you walk in there to complain, and they mumble some, what do we even do, sir? How do we go about it? And they keep you standing for an hour, nothing is done about it. Tomorrow, the incident repeats itself right in front of the police station. And then we get reports of this from all over the country. So it's been a year of police trying to show us that since you don't want us, we will show you the other side of not having
a police.
And I want to appeal that this is now a serious problem.
All right.
Something should be done about it. The authorities should please police Nigeria. Nigeria now needs to be policed. If we need to start a campaign to beg that Nigeria should be policed, I think the time is now.
All right.
The festivities is coming. And it will get worse.
The president in his New Year broadcast said that there's going to be 10,000 police recruits every year. So maybe we hope that might add up to what we have. If before we go, I'd like you to drop a word on this. Now, the issue of anniversary of the NSAS protest from last year, there is, in the last few days, we've heard there's a plan for a mega rally, but the police are saying, no, we're not going to accept that. And in fact, we hear that there are police armored tanks stationed at the Lekki toll gate to prevent any gathering of such. What do you make of this?
For those who are thinking about coming together or gathering, I think it's ill-timed. That's the truth. Yes, you might have your reasons. You have what it is that you're asking after. Larry just talked about some of the crazy things happening since the police just decided to, stay back, more back now in their barracks. But in the area where I live, you still have the police around. They do the stop and search. They've become so, how do I say it now, responsible as it is. Well, for those who are thinking of gathering, you don't see fire and stick your head into it. You don't get what you want that way. There are other ways that you can get to go about it. But saying you want to go butting heads with the security operatives, it might not be a very good advice now as it is. I think the IG, the man who just stepped in there, needs to wake up. He needs to do more. That's the truth. People have complained about being mugged, about being robbed. Their valuables are taken away from them. It should not be like that. If the people say they don't want the end SARS as it is, even though you still operate, why don't you think about other ways to police Nigeria? It is your job. I don't agree with Darry to say that we need to find a way to beg the police. Nobody begs me to do my job. I don't work for any government. I don't work for any private person. I consult and I make my money. You don't beg me to do the job. Then you have a government where people work and they pay you with the people's taxes.
Yes.
You need to find a way. Get out there and do your job.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Nobody begs you to pay your taxes too. You pay your taxes. So.
Yes, you do.
All right. Thank you. In fact, you need to start paying taxes for being honorable now too. That's increased another level. Thank you, Ify Onyegbule, for your time on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Odufowokan, thank you very much for coming as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right.